5,000, 6,000, 5,000, 5,000, we look back again, and we can see that we kind of kept it even, and then we start to fire a few people. We don't need them anymore, and then we just move forward. So I want you to kind of take a look and see if that kind you can see sort of the inherent logic for it, and maybe the trade-off of the cost for doing that. But there it is. Now, you don't have to do it. Let me show you. I might have said before, but you didn't know this. When we do something called integer, when we specify some of the changing cells and constrain it so that it must be integer, right, whole number, it's no longer optimal, potentially. So if you click the options button, you will see some constraints, and under here it says, what is your integer optimality? So what this is saying is that because you're constraining it to integer, if I make it, so optimality, if I put it as 0, it's going to combinatorically, in other words, try out every possible integer combination, and then look at the results in the gray to see what the, find out which one maxes your profit. Now, what it actually does first is it says, well, by forcing it to be whole numbers instead of fractions, it'll never be the max, right? So what the software does first is it runs it without the integer constraint you put on it. Because by taking it off, you know that this is going to be the largest number possible, like you max. So behind the scenes, it's going to run it without the integer constraints. It's going to let it be a fraction just to see possibly if you had fraction, what's the best. So that's like the best. Then it says, okay, now you're putting these integer constraints. Now, if it's 0% optimality, that means when you put 0, it means you have to try every combination just to see what's the best. But if I put 1%, it says start doing it, and if you get to within 1% of when you don't have the constraint, whatever that number was when we didn't have the constraint, you can stop. So if I put in 50, it'll say if you're within 50% of whatever that profit was without that constraint. So that's all that means. So it means that it might not be the optimal, but it's within 1% of the best without that integer constraint. So read that in the text if I didn't explain it right. Okay, so that's what it's trying to say. So you can fart around. This is an area where you can mess up somebody again on their laptop or your notebook, and you put 50% or 20%. When you're within 20% of the best solution, you can stop. That's like government work. No, not 20%. So so a lot of times this is default 1. If we tell you to say, I want you to try to get me the best optimal integer solution, you put 0 there. Okay, then it'll do every freaking combination of the integer, and it'll then give the one that gives the best number. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that. Okay, so closing this, let's now go see what else we got.